Good evening, everyone. I'm Riley King, and welcome to this edition of Exploring with Riley King, all about WMUR News 9. Today, WMUR turns 65 years old today. Happy birthday and happy anniversary. WMUR started the two-term New Hampshire Governor Francis P. Murphy founded WMUR TV. WMUR first air date was March 28th, 1954. 65 years ago it started. And today is March 28th, 2019. Happy birthday and happy anniversary to WMUR News 9. Right here in Manchester, New Hampshire is where WMUR News 9 is located at. On Commercial Street, South Commercial Street in Manchester, New Hampshire. The current news director at Channel 9 is Alicia McDavitt. This is a photo of her right here. And the general manager and president is Jeff Bartlett. And here is a photo of him right here. Now let's take a look at some video of promos and opening newscast from WMUR News 9. Check out this 1980s promo from the archives. Let's take a look.
Stepping up, watch us shine. You're stepping up with 9. We're changing for the better, good things in store for you.
We're your TV station, and we've got your point of view.
Channel 9. We're stepping up, watch us shine. You're stepping up with Channel 9.
Very cool indeed. A popular programming that was on Channel 9 earlier on in the years was called The Uncle Gus Show. Take a look at this archive video from The Uncle Gus Show. And let us know if you remember The Uncle Gus Show.
Talk about?
About germs.
You got. Hi, Darren. How are you? What do you want to talk about?
About germs.
You got a gerbil?
Yeah.
How many?
And 2 pairs. And 1 ugly hamster.
One ugly hamster?
Yeah.
Why do you call him ugly?
Because he's ugly.
What a cute little video there. And let us know if you remember The Uncle Gus Show. We want to hear from you. Now, take a look at this promo spot for WMUR Night Team, recorded in February 17, 1996. Take a look.
When the sun goes down, News 9's night reporters go to work. Anchors Tom Griffith and Karen Brown. Steve Cooper and Debbie Rodman with live reports and breaking news. Meteorologist Rick Gordon, Charlie Sherman knows New Hampshire like we do.
Very cool. Now let's take a look at this video. WMUR News 9 promo recorded January 1st, the 6th, 1993. Take a look.
Many times the stories that impress me the most and please us the most is when one of our reporters or photographers or anyone in the operation says, you know what might be interesting is to go to this town, and it may not seem like a huge story on the surface, but it's important to the people that live there. And it's not in any newspaper or radio station, it's fresh. And we bring back a story for the first time and put it on the air, and to the people in that town that night, it's important.
Okay, and there you go on that. And Jack Heath, he currently hosts a radio show now in New Hampshire. You can listen to his morning radio show program. Let's take a look at this video. The 60th anniversary extended video, early 90s promo. Take a look.
I have the copy here.
I'll go right over the phone.
Run this by me again. Stun guns, grenades, and tear gas.
Is this the latest radar? Rotating on it. Do it. Did you see that gate last night? Was that a real? That was a great
Thank
gate.
you.
I'm Tom Griffith reporting live tonight where police have staged what is described as a major drug bust.
It takes just 30 minutes to broadcast the news, but it takes 24 hours a day, every day to cover it. We should know. We're New Hampshire's #1 news team. 7 days a week. Morning, noon, and night.
Okay, camera 1, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, cue 'em.
New Hampshire's News 9. The best news you'll hear all day.
Very cool. Now let's watch this video of a bunch of WMUR News 9 openings from the early years all the way to now. Let's take a look. And when you're watching this, you'll see the studios have changed over time. Take a look.
No one knows New Hampshire like we do.
Live from the studios of WMUR TV, this is New Hampshire's News 9, the Night Report. Good evening, New Hampshire. I'm Tom Griffith.
And I'm Judy Fortin. Thank you for joining us.
Now, the news from New Hampshire, New England, and the world. With Tom Griffith, Kathy Burnham, meteorologist Rick Gordon, and Jeff Peterson with sports. This is New Hampshire's News 9 at 6.
It came with little or no warning. 16 people were killed when a C-130 transport plane crashed into a restaurant in southwestern Indiana.
More on the killer crash and a talk with the doctor treating Rochester's Sarah Edgerly coming up tonight. President Clinton winds up a whirlwind tour through the Granite State. Some new support for Republican Senator Bob Dole. And the rest of the GOP candidates work to separate themselves from the pack.
Live from the WMUR Broadcast Center, Kathy Craig and Eric Reed with the Weekend Sports Wrap-Up. This is New Hampshire's News 9 Weekend Report.
Good evening, everyone. Amidst the fury of last-minute campaigning,
Coming to you from Manchester, you're watching New Hampshire's #1 source for news. Next.
The underdogs are coming home champions. The Patriots have brought home their first Super Bowl victory ever in a dramatic game against St. Louis. Many people took to the streets to celebrate, however, and not all the celebrations were kept under control. Find out where police were called out to deal with rowdy fans. And fans across the ocean rose early to see the Pats take the title. Find out what time the troops got up to watch the Super Bowl battle.
Live from the WMUR Broadcast Center, this is New Hampshire's WMUR News 9 Daybreak.
It was an unbelievable ending to an unbelievable season. The New England Patriots wake up as Super Bowl champions. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to News 9 Daybreak. I'm Tiffany Eddy. What an exciting game.
Coming to you from Manchester, you're watching New Hampshire's #1 source for news. Next.
State health officials confirm the West Nile virus has been found in 2 dead crows. What's being done to prevent the potentially deadly disease from spreading? The state's highest court rejects an appeal in the case of one of the teenage Dartmouth murder suspects. And court documents reveal first-hand accounts of how the oil tanker Virgo might be involved with a fatal fishing boat accident off the Bay State coast.
Live from the WMUR Broadcast Center, this is New Hampshire's WMUR News 9 this morning.
Good morning, everyone. It is Saturday, August.
WMUR News 9 at 6.
And good evening, New Hampshire. Thanks for joining us tonight as the days tick down to the first of the nation presidential primary.
Coming to you from Manchester, you're watching New Hampshire.
No one covers New Hampshire like we do. We're WMUR News 9.
Now at noon, good travel weather, but the weekend itself could be a different story. We'll have the latest timeline ahead.
Tough times for some drivers trying to get to their holiday destinations where this snow made for very slippery roads.
Christmas is now less than a day away. Last-minute shoppers are hitting the malls. We'll catch up with some of them in a live report.
The yeas are 60, the nays are 39.
The final Senate votes on health care reform cast on this Christmas Eve, where the debate goes from here. Good afternoon, everybody. Aaron is off today on this Christmas Eve.
Winter doesn't officially start until Monday, but you wouldn't know it looking at the eastern seaboard.
Are getting to test their mettle on a world stage.
No one covers New Hampshire like we do in high definition. Now, WMUR News 9 at 5:30.
We will have the latest on the snow in a moment, but we continue to follow the breaking news.
And we are seeing those clouds kind of moving their way out. We had a lot of rain overnight.
Hurricane Nate barreling into the Gulf of Mexico this morning, when it makes landfall and how it could affect us here in New Hampshire.
Gulf Coast in the cross. Distracted and impaired drivers.
The holiday is here, and so is the cold. A check on how cold and windy will be this Thanksgiving Day.
Fire officials in Belmont working to figure out what sparked a blaze at a farmhouse, the challenges crews faced while battling the flames. How Granite Staters are pitching in to make the holiday a little more comforting for those still displaced by the Massachusetts gas line disaster.
No one covers New Hampshire like we do. WMUR News 9 Daybreak starts now.
Good morning, New Hampshire. Happy Thanksgiving.
Breaking news at 6, a crash.
As you saw, lots have changed over the time in all those videos. Now let's watch some of this video.
The dynamic in the morning. Yeah. We are powered by caffeine. They are early morning hours.
That's the glue to the whole team.
And laughter keeps us awake.
There was a lot of laughter and a lot of caffeine. What time do you guys get in?
Get in a little before 4 o'clock. Get out of bed about 3 o'clock, which is much more difficult in the wintertime, I can assure you. In fact, that is probably the most common question that you are asked. On or an accident, they're writing right in, so we can see it almost real time.
Right. It actually tablet in front of you instead of a stack of scripts.
so that when they decide to kill, in our business, kill means get rid of a script, you don't have to go through all of the scripts to find it. Now you just press refresh. You're checking Facebook and, oh, right, we're doing the news.
Well, you realize, because you're constantly talking to people online and you're reading things online, oh, there's a show going on as well. So it's become, I don't want to call it a distraction, but it's another task that you're doing.
Oh, you're always multitasking in the morning.
Yeah, and I can only do one thing at a time, so obviously it's a problem for me.
Now let's watch this video, some of this video, on how things changed, the technology in the news business.
Oh, coming in 3. I've been in this coming in 3. I've been in this television business since 1969, and I got to say, in these 45 years, everything has changed. Former New Hampshire Governor Francis Murphy first put WMUR TV on the air on the 28th of March, 1954. WMUR, that's for Murphy. I turned 18 that year. That same year, 1954, my brother Robbie played the piano every week on a local show on this station. Jerry Carney hosted the program. I used to drive Robbie over from Milford for the gig. He was only 11. I remember the show. I remember the building. Sally Zeiler danced. Local people lip-synced to popular records. Hum and Strum sang songs and did pattern. Uncle Gus did his kids' show. Back then, the entire television operation was run out of a converted private home on Upper Elm Street. The studio was made up of 2 downstairs rooms in the house, just rooms. Upstairs were the offices. The control room was in the rear. Big cathode ray cameras, black and white only. Sometimes a tube would be down and the station would have to go on the air with 1 camera, just a single camera. Local news was simply read like it was on the radio, no visuals. 15 years later, in 1969, I was out of the United States Army and I was working as a cameraman, a film photographer. For what is now New Hampshire Public Television, we shot 16mm black and white film with Oricon cameras. Also, these Bell and Howell cameras that wound up. And we shot silently with those cameras. Channel 11 had cameras that recorded magnetic sound on a track of audio tape that would, for instance, come to the Concord State House and set up the camera on a tripod with the State House in the background. He would then place, say, the President of the Senate on a mark. He would turn on his camera and bound over to the mark and do the interview. And then he would go back, shut off the camera, rush back to the station, and I'm not kidding here, he would develop his own film in a tank with chemicals. He'd then dry it, load it into the projector, and cue it up. He, of course, wrote the story, and on air, he did the anchor position for the evening news. He worked 14-hour days. Cell phone that takes far better movies than any 16mm camera ever could do. I don't know if the stories I write are any better, though.
Okay, and there you go. Now let's take a look at this video.
WMUR is a completely different TV station than what you'd expect in any other market.
We have a culture where content is important. Content, intellect, involvement in the community, making a difference, caring about the families that we interact with on a daily basis. And it's really fostered by Hearst at the highest level.
There's a difference between what you see from Hearst stations and what you see from other stations.
WMUR has a lot of clout in the industry, and it's an important place to be.
Even though we're in the Boston market, we cover a unique geographical area and a set of interests that are separate from the market that we are in.
We've been able to do a lot of things that other TV stations can't do because you can reach so many people with one platform. You can't forget the New Hampshire primary. The presidential primary is held right here in New Hampshire, which provides reporters a very rare opportunity to be able to interview these presidential candidates one-on-one, and it's also very rare for a TV station to have that full access to these candidates. There's opportunities here at WMUR that are not typical of TV stations. I've met, the last 3 presidents personally. I've seen every presidential candidate that's come through here.
One thing that really stuck out to me is when I first came here to interview, presidential candidates were coming in also to interview for a different reason.
And it's kind of neat knowing that if you're going to be president of the United States of America, you're going to walk by my desk.
There's a culture that promotes innovation and free thinking in the company.
The company's commitment to the digital space here at WMUR and at Hearst Television is second to none.
It feels like an honor to belong here at all. WMUR really is a family.
I'm surrounded by people who love what they do.
The people chosen to be part of our family here are bright, they're intelligent, they care about content and substance, they are hardworking, they are driven.
We have a lot of very smart people and engaged newsroom. A lot of people that care about each other and care about what they do.
If you're here at WMUR, it means you are a very hard-working person and that you're very passionate about what you do.
If you get here and you work hard, it will be noticed, and it can help take your career to the next level.
I think one of the best things about working at WMUR is the opportunity to grow, both personally and with your career. I think that it is, especially in the sales department, it is a game changer for your life.
I came here as an associate producer days after graduating from college. I worked the early morning shift, and I was able to continuously ask questions and stood up and said, hey, I would like to produce. Are there any opportunities? And the managers listened to me. And eventually a job opportunity opened up for being a weekend producer, and I went after it. I tell that story just because I think that here you have the opportunity to rise up. You have the opportunity to get better at the craft. And you have people that are willing to help you reach your goals.
Very cool indeed. And we all want to wish WMUR a happy 65th anniversary and birthday. We're happy. They are 65 years old today, and they do a great job covering New Hampshire. Keep up the great work. And I am a big fan of WMUR News 9. Got a lot of Channel 9 gear in my bedroom and in my studio here, and yeah, and my goal someday is to work on WMUR News 9 someday. That is my goal. I hope you enjoyed this edition of Exploring with Riley King of WMUR. Have a wonderful day, everyone. I'll be back next time for another edition of Exploring with Riley King. Goodbye, everyone.